All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. It's the brother Azariah coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this edifying. Okay? And swap screens here. All right, so I was watching this brother, I was watching the elder out in Dallas, Yashawamba. I was watching his video, E's plan to blow up the moon. And he mentioned something in there that kind of sparked this lesson, okay? And basically, he was going into how it's the nations, like it's E's, for lack of a better term, it was E's MO, is his prerogative, so to speak, to wipe you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans out, okay? And he briefly mentioned how, okay, in the Bible, the Most High set forth certain rules. It said, okay, if you can take out, if these ordinances, I'll just get it so I don't butcher it. Jeremiah 31 and 35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Most High, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Okay. Thus saith the Most High, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Most High. Okay, so the point is, these things are impossible to do. But nevertheless, your enemy, okay, which is all the other nations, okay, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, and those of us that have been scattered among the nations, okay, but are actually of the seed of Israel, okay, according to the Spirit, okay, you are the chosen people of the Most High. You've been set above the rest of the nations. Therefore, they hate you. Okay? You're never going to completely fit in with them. Okay? You're always going to be different. Okay? Better. And they're always going to hate you. All right? So, they want to wipe you out from being a nation because they know that you going back into power, you coming back to the knowledge of who you are and repenting, means that they will be cast down to a lower state, okay? And so their mission is to keep you out of that position. And sorry if I'm a little close to my camera. All right. So let's get a few precepts, right? Like I said, the main mission of the heathen is to wipe you out. So let's get also I saw this brother here's video, GMS ISAL 444, okay? And basically he went into, the same thing, how he's using different stuff to keep you jakes asleep and keep you in the midst of sin. So we'll get into that a little bit later, Lord willing. Psalms 83. Okay. Start there. Psalms 83 and okay. Psalms 83 and 1 says, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O power. For lo, okay, in which the word God just means power, okay. And the Most High is our power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. So the enemies, the heathen are raging, okay. They're making an uproar, a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They're lifting up in pride. They're raising up, to fight against the Most High and against his people, okay? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. If you go to a consultation, it's like you go and you get advice and you talk to a person about something. The nations have consulted together. Well, how do you think, how are we going to take them down like this? Let's continue, okay? Because, they got all the nations conspire to take you down in some form or fashion. Verse 4, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. This is the real confederacy. Bump the Confederate flag. Okay. There's a confederacy of the nations all against you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to keep you from raising up. Why? Because when you raise up, you inherit the end goal. And these nations know this. Okay. Let's just get a brief precept. Okay. Okay. Amos 9 and Amos 9, and I'll just read verse 11 and 12. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen. Okay, then they put a comma right there, and it says, which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. So the people that are going to inherit the heathen are the ones that the Most High named, which are the children of Israel. Okay, was not Jacob named Israel after he wrestled with the angel? Okay, the Most High have surnamed us, just like the scriptures say. I have surnamed thee. Okay, and it also talked about us repenting and coming back and naming ourselves under the name of Israel. Okay, and you so-called Jews claim that you've always had your heritage. Okay, and I'm gonna get back to the point after this. Okay. It always be like this, but I'm gonna get back to my precepts. Okay. Isaiah 44:5 says, one shall say, I am Yahweh's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Most High, and surname himself by the name of Israel. You see? Why? Because we have forgotten who we were, man. All right? We have forgotten who we were. Why would this be a point to make right here if you've always been calling yourself after Israel? You see? No, we forgot who we were. The true Israelites forgot who they were. And now we're coming back to the remembrance, okay? In the land of our captivity, we're remembering the Most High. So let's get back to this Psalms 83. And it tells you the nations that have come against us. Verse 6 says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites and of Moab. So Edom, so-called white people. Ishmael, you Arabs. Moab, you Chinese. The Hagarenes, Cabal, Ammon, Japanese. All these people. Amalek, which represents you fake Jews, okay? The Philistines, which were Hamites, if I'm not mistaken. And so on and so forth, man. All the nations are against you, man. So let's continue. All right. Let's get another precept. Now we're going to get, okay, because they have taken great lengths, okay, to find out how to keep you down and out, man, to keep you in a lower state. Psalm 64, we'll start at verse 1, says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, and the wicked of the whole earth is Esau, Edom. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword. Okay, they sharpen their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. So their arrows in their words are sharp towards us, man. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay. So they're after the children of Israel, like it just read in Psalms 83. Okay. They're raised up against, they're against the hidden people of the Most High, and you've been hidden. Okay. The Most High allowed them to hide your heritage from you. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter, Salaki. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Okay. So they're against you, and they're trying to lay snares for you privately. Okay. They're setting up traps for you all around a different place, man. We're going to promote pork because we know that that's a sin against their power. Okay. We're going to do this and do that to keep them in sin. Let's continue. They search out iniquities. Let's see what is sin to these people, and how can we push it on them? Okay, like I mentioned, the whole pork thing, adultery, All right, adultery is real bad. The Most High will kill them for adultery. So you know what? We're gonna promote adultery. We're gonna make it popular to take another man's woman. We're gonna make that a thing of prestige. You know, I took your bitch. You know. Oh yeah, what else? Smoking. Yeah, we're gonna popularize smoking and make it easy to find weed and different drugs because that's witchcraft. And the Lord said He will kill witches. Okay. We're going to promote rebellion, which is also witchcraft. These different things, they searched out iniquities. They accomplished a diligent search. They went through the scriptures. Man, we got to make sure we find everything that's a sin and try to push it on these Israelites. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay. They have deep thoughts about this because that word heart goes into your mind. They've thought deeply about this, man. They accomplished a diligent search. The scriptures say you are wiser than Daniel. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the main chapter. Verse 5. Okay, so, you know, we'll move to the next precept because I got a few of them. Okay. So also let's go into the book of Judith, okay? Because in Judith it also highlights, okay, what the heathen know about us, okay? It's a lot. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. I think that's in yeah. It's a lot. Judith 5 and okay. Get to the point. All right. Judith 5 and 17 says, and whilst they sin not before their God, this is referring to the children of Israel, whilst they sin not before their power, they prospered because the Most High that hateth iniquity was with them. Okay, so while we didn't sin, we won many wonderful battles, man. Small numbers of people through the power of the Most High was defeating numerous of people. That's all throughout our history, man. Okay, verse 18, but when they departed from the way which He appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Okay? So when we return to the Most High strengthens us. Okay? He has strengthened us in the past. Okay? And during these times, we're waiting on Yahweh Shai before we take back the land. Okay? Verse 20, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So like it said, okay, in that last precept that I read, in Psalm 64, okay, they commune of laying snares privily, man, you know. And also in Psalms 83, come let us cut them off from being a nation that the name of Israel. Okay, let me see. Let me get this. So like, yeah, I thought there was another one, but Psalms 31, 33. Yeah, no, I thought there was another one, but basically that's what happened. You know, the Most High cast us from before His sight because we sinned, but He have not completely cast us away. You know, and I was trying to find that, but because we sinned, the Most High was like, "Hey, man, I can't even look upon y'all no more." Okay, but anyway, Psalm 64. Okay, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. Psalm 64 and 5. They say, "Who shall see them?" They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought and every one of them is deep. Okay, so the point is they found out what is sin to us, and they use that against us. Okay, And I'm gonna continue on. So like you see in verse 20, again, Judah 5:20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Verse 21. So that's what he does today. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their power defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. So they know, okay, that when you repent, the Most High defends you. And that's what they don't want, because that means that they're going into captivity. And that's not what they want, man. So this has always been the plot and the plan, particularly of the Edomites, okay, the so-called, white men. All right, and let's get a precept on that. Revelation 12. Okay. Revelation 12. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Okay. And so this woman represents Israel. Okay. And I just got a few precepts on that. Okay, Jeremiah 6:2. Jeremiah 6, verse 2 says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Okay, so when it talks about the daughter of Zion, it says he's likened them unto the daughter of Zion. He's likened the daughter of Zion unto a woman. The daughter of Zion is like saying the daughter of the Chaldeans, the daughter of, the daughter of Babylon. It doesn't necessarily mean a woman. It just means this is the child of this nation. So the daughter of Babylon is like, the daughter of Israel is like the remnant, or like the people that's left, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? There's the daughter of a lot of nations out in the scriptures. Okay. So let's continue. Genesis 37, just further proving that this is talking about Israel. Genesis 37 and verse 9 says, and he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? So his father understood that the moon and the stars and the sun and the moon and the stars in this particular instance represented him, his wife, and his brothers. And Joseph was the youngest. So he was like, well, what are you talking about? But that ended up coming true. But anyway, just basically giving you the analogy, okay, of the children of Israel representing the stars, okay? So let's continue. Revelation 12, okay, again, and then we're going to read verses 2 through 4. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Okay, they needed we was waiting on Yahweh Shai, to be born. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, okay, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, so we're gonna go into what this dragon represents. Okay, because eventually, okay, so what this is going into is Esau, Edom. Okay, the Edomites. Okay, they tried to destroy the children of Israel and Yahweh Shai. They tried to stop the Messiah from being born, because, like I said, when he's born, this means, or not when he's born, but when we're risen back up in the power through the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, this means the other nations are going into captivity. Okay, and this made them afraid, and they took action. We're going to prove that. I'm going to read Matthew 2. Okay, I'm just going to read through it here real quick to give you what this is talking about. Because, like I said, let's read that again. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, so he was waiting to kill Yahweh Shai, and Those of you that have read the scripture should know what this is talking about. Matthew 2:1. Now, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, who was what? He was an Idumean. He was an Edomite. Behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. And he was ruling over Israel under the authority of Rome. Okay, Rome is the fourth beast. Okay, even secular Christians know that. Verse 2, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Why? Because when Yahushua is prophesied to come, he's supposed to take down the heathen. Now, in this particular, instance, he didn't come. He came as a lamb, but when he returns, he's coming as a lion, right? So in this particular instance, he wasn't there to take anybody down. He was there to wake up the children of Israel, and to be that reconciliation for the children of Israel back to the Father, because we have been separated from the Most High, and those normal sacrifices we were doing weren't enough to bring us back to the Most High, Verse 4, when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And I'm just going to read down to the point. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. And that's what Yahushua represents, bringing the Israelites back into order. And when we come back into our power, the other nations are going to be putting back into captivity. Didn't I bring it out earlier? I will raise up the tabernacles of David as it was of old. And we're going to possess the heathen, man. And this is written through the scriptures. They knew this. They knew that the heathen was going down, and he knew he was a heathen. Like, oh man, is it time? Even the disciples said, have you come at this time to return the kingdom unto Israel? We was waiting on that. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. He was being sneaky. He wanted to kill him. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And this represents a chariot, man. They were led forth of a chariot, what you would call a UFO, but that's another lesson for another day. Verse 10, when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary and his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee the word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. See, it says right there, he will seek the young child to destroy him. So this is, like I said, man, like I read in Revelation, for to devour her child as soon as it was born, just to not read the whole thing again. Let's continue, and I'm almost done reading this. When verse 14, Matthew 2:14, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there unto the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. So now it told you the end, but let's hop back to before Herod died. So after the wise men didn't come back, this is what Herod did, verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth or angry, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So the reason I read that, which I could have hopped around, but I just want to, kind of lay some groundwork and let you understand like what this is talking about in Revelation 12. There appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. This represents the Roman Empire. And Herod was under the authority of the Roman Empire, ruling in Jerusalem, man. And this is talking about that. Okay, it's not some big dragon floating